sold unto them. Alright, so it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, which we got, for bondmen and bondwomen, which are slaves, and no man shall buy you. Alright, it means redeem. Alright, so let's get some more on that. Alright. Alright, let's get some. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 25. Alright, it says, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, alright, with the sword. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. How's that? By ships. Alright, and thy carcasses shall be meat unto the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall ferry them away. Alright, verse 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as a blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Alright, that's why we're not growing. Alright, you ain't going to be successful over here in America. Alright, because we on the curses. The only way you can be successful is you do wickedness. Alright, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Alright, and thou shalt betroth a wife, you get you a woman, and another man shall lie with her. Alright, thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. Alright, because in the ancient world, if you built a house, that was your house. Alright, but if you under slavery, you built a house, and it was the master's house, but you didn't get to dwell in there. Alright, if you planted your own vineyard, that was yours. But in captivity, you will plant it, but it'll be given to your masters. Alright, it says, the oxen, thine oxen shall be slain before thy eyes, making reference to what? When this damn devil was damn near about to extinct all the buffalo, alright, to force the tribe of Gad, which are you so-called Native Americans, onto reservations. Alright, that was the way they did that, by destroying the buffalo. Alright, shall be slain before your eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Alright, and they show you that in scenes like they had this TV series which that Amalekite made, Steven Spielberg, that Amalekite, that devil made, called what was it, out going to the west or something, and they had a scene where it showed the carcasses of buffalo just rotting out in the field, because Edomites was basically killing them for their coats and to eat their testicles and tongues. It's madness, man. So they was doing that, man. It's wickedness. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored unto thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Alright? Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long. There shall be no might in thine hand. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed crushed always. Alright, and it says, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. Alright, and you see that. Get some more. Alright, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 41, it says, thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Alright, that's right. And that's what happened. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's why you so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans are brought down very low in this society, and the other nations, mainly the so-called white men, It's set up high, because that's a curse. Alright? It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Alright? Alright, verse 47. It says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, alright, until he have destroyed thee. Alright? And that happened. How? Through the Atlantic slave trade, which we're going to go back and pull out this information, but the Spirit is bringing these scriptures out. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, right, from the ends of the earth. Right? Did not the Europeans, so-called white man, come from the eastern hemisphere? Right, from the ends of the earth came over here to the western hemisphere. As swift as the eagle flieth, and that's a symbol, the eagle. Alright, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Alright, you had them speaking Spanish, Portuguese, French, alright, Dutch, English. Alright, and our people, alright, the Latinos and Native Americans, they were speaking Hebrew, alright, broken forms of Hebrew, alright, and the Negros that they took from different parts of Africa, Spain and Portugal, alright, they spoke forms of Hebrew. Alright, so when Esau came, he was speaking a different language, tongue they didn't understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Alright, I'm going to pull that out. It said, he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land till thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kin, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. That's right. Alright. Alright. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, now this is talking about King David, alright, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Alright, and that's making reference, alright, to with the Arabs, they imposed Islam upon you Negroes when they was enslaving you, alright, and they imposed what so-called Christianity, like Catholicism, upon the natives and the Latinos when the Spaniards came, and when so-called Puritans and Protestants came, alright, which were heathens, man, devils, man. Verse 37, which all those philosophies that they pushed on our people, alright, stem all back to the worship of Ceramicus and Tammuz, alright, and what's his name, Nimrod. Alright, it ain't nothing but Babylonian sun god worship. Alright, it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. Alright, so that's how they was looking at us. Alright, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. Alright, how? Through the ships, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease. Alright, that's why we catch hell everywhere we go. Neither shalt the sole of thy foot have rest. Alright, you don't have no rest in here. Alright, you Latinos, you gotta worried about getting deported back to Mexico or whatever South America or Central America country that you came from, because you don't have no rest. You Negroes don't have any rest. Alright, you Native Americans have no rest in this land, or wherever you scattered all over the world. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Basically, in layman's terms, you catching hell. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have no assurance of thy life. That's right. And in the morning thou shalt say, would God it were evening. And in the evening thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. Alright? So, I just wanted to pull those scriptures out, to further just pull that out of the scriptures, so that when I read these things, it should resonate with you that these are the children of Israel. Alright, so let me quickly go through these articles. Alright, Europeans enslavement. Let's see how much time. Alright, I'm doing good. Alright, European enslavement. When Europeans arrived, which were Edomites, so-called white people, as colonists in North America, North Americans changed their practice of slavery dramatically. They found that British settlers, Edomites, especially those in the southern colonies, purchased, or captured Native Americans to use as forced labor in cultivating tobacco, rice, and indigo. Native Americans began selling war captives to whites rather than integrating them into their own society as they had done before. As the demand of labor in the West Indies, which is the Caribbean islands, grew with the cultivation of sugarcane, Europeans enslaved Native Americans for the 13 colonies, and some were exported, shipped to the sugar islands. So the Native Americans were they fit that curse of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68, as well as you Negros, and I'm gonna further prove you Latinos as well. Accurate records of numbers and slaves do not exist. Scholars estimate tens of thousands of Native Americans may have been enslaved by Europeans. As slavery became a racial caste, the Virginia General Assembly defined some terms in 1705. All servants imported, meaning they're getting shipped into the country or brought into the country, who were not Christians in their native country, shall be accounted and be slaves. All Negros, all Negro, mulatto, which is where that term come from? It means either a light skinned Jake or a Latino, and mulatto and Indian slaves within this dominion shall be held to be real estate. So you was nothing but property to this devil. If any slave resisted his master correcting such slaves, and shall happen to be killed in such correction, the master shall be free of all punishment, as if such accident never happened. So they was putting us to death, man. Basically, from the Virginia General Assembly Declaration in 1705, it basically, we saw so-called white men gave these slave owners, these so-called Europeans, these so-called white people, so-called right to basically put you to death, and they get off. That's why I said, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. The slave trade of Native Americans lasts only until around 1730, and it gave rise to a series of devastating wars among the tribes, including the Yamasee War. The Indian Wars of the early 18th century, combined with the increasing importation of African slaves, which those were you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. You're not Africans, you're Israelites. Especially effectively ended the Native American slave trade by 1750. So, so that proves that Native Americans was being shipped, and they fit that curse as well. Colonists found it too easy for Native American slaves to escape, and the wars took the lives of numerous colonist slave traders. That's right. The remaining Native American groups band together to face Europeans from a position of strength. Many surviving Native American peoples of the southern East joined confederacies such as the Choctaw, the Creek, the Catawba for protection. Native American women were at risk for rape, whether they were enslaved or not. It says many southern communities